Hey, what's up, guys? This is Justin from Extreme Health Radio. Thank you for being a YouTube subscriber and being a YouTube listener. I appreciate it so much. And as you guys probably know, all of our shows are 100% free. They are now 100% commercial free too. So we don't stop and take breaks for anything. But we do ask your support. And so since we're not doing commercials and we're not really charging for the shows, all the shows now have sponsors. So today's show is sponsored by the Bellicon Rebounder. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Bellicon rebounder, but I'm telling you, these things are just the best rebounders on the market. They're just incredible. They are great for cleansing the lymphatic system, building bone density. It's a cellular exercise, so you can work out your entire cellular structure of your entire body. They're just incredible. I do mine about 25 minutes every single day, and I just love the Bellicon. So if you're interested in the Bellicon Rebounder, you can click the link right up here to check it out and learn more about it and learn how to start improving your health and your lifestyle with the Bellicon Rebounder. Also, I want to thank everyone who has bookmarked our Amazon link. Nothing changes for you, but I appreciate you guys bookmarking our Amazon link. I appreciate you guys leaving reviews on iTunes, and we greatly appreciate all you patrons for donating to our show on a per podcast basis. We just could not do this show without you, and we thank you so much for leaving us reviews on iTunes and supporting us on Patreon, bookmarking our Amazon link, and then mostly for sharing our shows on Facebook too. We really appreciate that. So thank you again, all you guys, for being a part of everything that we have going on. I really appreciate it. This was such a fun episode between Kate and I on this Free For All Friday show. So I appreciate you guys so much. If you want to grab the show notes, you can head on over to extremehealthradio.com/395, I believe is the episode number for this show. So anyway, I'm rambling. Check out the Bellicon Rebounder, though. I think you're really going to love this thing. I really do. It's just an amazing machine, and they're offering free shipping right now too. So head on over there through the link there, and I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for subscribing and passing our shows on to your friends. I really appreciate it. So thank you, YouTube subscribers. We love you, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
All right, we are officially live. I hope everyone can hear us. We've made some upgrades to our audio, so hopefully our sound and quality is a little bit better.
I can hear you good.
Well, you're sitting 3 feet from me.
Then it's working.
Then you're not deaf.
Well, I upgraded my ears. Let's talk about that in a few.
That's right, you did.
We did some ear candling. We got an ear upgrade, a hearing upgrade.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But
yeah, we both did.
Pretty cool.
We actually did a video we're going to be posting on YouTube.
Yep.
Ear candling. Have you guys ever tried ear candling?
Probably most people in our world have, I'd say, because it's been around for thousands of years.
Yeah, I would imagine. I've done hydrogen peroxide. In fact, I didn't do hydrogen peroxide. I was going to do a dual approach yesterday, but I just did the ear candling, and that was quite an experience, I tell you.
I laugh at you because everything you do is so full on. You can't just do like the first step of something. If there's 20 steps, you're going to do them all like bam, 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 bam.
Oh my gosh, I know.
You're funny.
Do you think that's bad? Do you think I shouldn't stack so many things on top of one another?
Yeah, I think you charge things way too full on.
Is that your subtle way of telling me that I don't think you should do what you're doing?
No, I think you should do it. I just think you need to use a little more caution sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, because you pay for it. Like, your body is pretty tough and it can handle a lot, but sometimes you just do things so full on that all of a sudden you're like, oh, that didn't work out so great, or I don't feel that great, or it's like you know, if someone told you to do a set of colonics over a period of like a month, you'd be like, I want to do them all right now today. Yeah. And you do them all in a row.
Yeah, I do that, don't I?
You do. You're funny.
Well,
it's endearing.
Part of my thing, too, is I like to do things on top of one another. Like, I think the Jing Slingers were making fun of me lately. Recently.
Yeah, they were.
Let me get your book.
Oh, thank you. I need to take notes over here. The Jing Slingers were saying what about you?
Well, I think they were.
Here, I got it.
You got it? They were. Thanks for taking notes.
You're welcome.
They were making fun of me because I think that because I was saying, yeah, you know, I think I mentioned the biomat on our Instagram, maybe it was.
Okay.
And I mentioned that I want to do the biomat, and they and I said, yeah, I want to do the biomat and the chi machine together. And they said something
right.
like, I don't think you should stack too many things on top of one another, you know, and just basically
That might not be the best idea.
Yeah, let me turn the kid down a little bit.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
See, I'm not alone in my judgment seat.
That's true. Well, in fact, I wanted to do the biomat, the chi machine, and the IMRS 2000 plus.
See, this
the
is what
brain entrainment program, the HoloSync, the meditation thing, you know, all at once. Why not? We'd be laying there anyway.
I don't know what that would do to a person. I don't know if it'd be like you'd check out completely because you were so relaxed, or if you'd be like buzzed because you had so many things going on, your body was like short circuiting.
Yeah.
It might be confused, and your poor body would be like, I don't know how to process all this right now.
That's too much. But you know, it couldn't be as good as a float tank. All of that probably couldn't equal a float tank. Do you think?
I don't think so. I don't know, because my biomat, you've heard me talk about the biomat. It just
that's true.
puts me right out. But I really appreciate your crazy, awesome drive and ambition. You're very excited.
Well, thank you.
You get really excited about things.
I figure, you know, like I'd rather not, like I guess my philosophy is more is better, but then it's not like that's not always correct, because
I think more is better over a period of time.
Well, you're no one to talk.
What are you talking about?
You almost ate a bag of chips the other day.
Me?
But I was going to say that it's
sweet potato chips, by the way.
If I want to lay down on a biomat, and that is usually about 20 minutes, and then I want to spend another 20 minutes on an IMRS mat, then I don't want to spend 40 minutes doing that because I got so much to do. I'd rather just do it all together at one time.
That's kind of, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's basically like saying, I want to eat dinner while I throw up at the same time.
Yeah.
It might just get you back to ground zero.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, but yes, you're right. I'm totally guilty of that too. Me and my new, oh my gosh, what are they? Jackson's Honest potato chips. They're these sweet potato chips with 3 ingredients: sweet potatoes, organic
we put them on our
coconut
Instagram.
oil, and sea salt. And I was so excited to find something that it seemed like my body would love because it was so simple and digestible. And that's true. But you're right. I ate a whole bag in like, an hour? And then I wasn't feeling so good.
Here you are. You are making fun of me for trying to. I'm going to put a link to those.
We should keep it like a running score, like a total of how
many times we both go overboard?
Yes.
I know, right?
I think you'd be winning, but I could be wrong.
Oh my gosh. We've got a lot to go through. Do you know
what episode is this?
This is episode 395.
Wow.
You realize that we haven't been on the air for as far as a Free for All Friday show for let me see.
I'm going to guess like 8 weeks or something.
Let me take a look here. It's been a long time that we've done the Free for All Friday show. I just put a link to those chips in our Instagram.
Oh man, are they good?
7/24. So it's been a month and a half.
Oh.
Almost a month and a half.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
It does.
I thought it had even been a little bit longer, but it's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
We've had a lot going on. Whew.
Yeah, we've got a lot to get to. We've got a bunch of emails to get to, some iTunes reviews that we're going to get to, some different topics that we want to talk about. I was up late last night into the wee hours of the night putting together this show.
I love that. I love that phrase. The wee hours of the night.
The wee hours of the night. But last night I didn't get a chance to do my sauna, and I have been known to do the sauna until 1 o'clock in the morning, but I just couldn't do it.
Because you were too tired?
Well, it was too late, and I was putting together this outline for today's show.
Oh, okay.
And
well, thanks for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I couldn't go in the sauna the last 2 days because I have the world's gnarliest, largest blisters on my 2 pinky toes from wearing brand new boots all around Disneyland with my family the other day.
With no socks.
Thought that was a brilliant idea.
Talk about going all in.
That was all in.
You put your chips as your whole pot.
You're right, I did. I put all my chips in on that one, and now I'm paying for it. But
that's hilarious.
But I have been treating my blisters with silver.
Yeah.
Silver First LJ by Sovereign.
So I haven't
First aid gel.
That is
right.
the Sovereign Silver product,
That stuff
right?
is good.
Is that it's a gel? Is that what it is?
Well, it comes in a lot of different forms, but we have one that's, by the company Sovereign Silver. That's a first aid gel, and it's for topical use only.
I'll put a link to it in the show.
Yeah. It's sounding really gross, but I'm talking, these are the world's worst blisters. I've never seen anything. They look like boils on my toes, but the first aid gel is actually, it's kind of gross, but it's actually like crusting them over. So I think that they're healing.
Oh, good.
But I'm afraid they're going to scar. I mean, they don't look good at all. That was like, 6 hours of running around in boots with no socks on. And I knew it hurt. And then I started limping. And then I barely made it out to the parking lot.
Then you're on crutches. Then you're in a wheelchair. And then the ambulance came and got you.
And now I have no feet.
And then you were in.
And then they chopped my legs off.
The OR.
No. But no, I mean, they look pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to Instagram one of those. They're pretty gnarly. I look like a leper.
Not too hot.
You're not attracted to me with my leper feet?
Leper
Can I rub
feet.
my leper feet all over you?
All over my face.
Ew. You see, you took it to another level.
Well, I want to thank our latest patrons.
Please.
Very, very appreciative. Patty Morgan
Nice.
is donating 50 cents a podcast. And Off the Market Living, which is donating 25 cents a show.
Great.
So we appreciate you guys. For those who don't know, Patreon is a place for basically crowdfunding, and it allows people creators like us to produce content, and then for listeners to basically support and sponsor the show themselves. So they can donate. You can donate as much as you would like per show, and it comes out of your account once a month. And it's really a cool service that allows people to create the stuff that they want to create and get paid to do it, because it does cost us a lot of money to run the show. So we're slowly becoming more sustainable. That's the whole idea here.
And sure.
What a lot of people don't realize is that we pay all of our bills through this show too. So all of our rent and Maggie's food and our food and everything. So thank you to Patty Morgan and Off the Market Living, 50 cents a show and 25 cents a show.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Which is cool. And I encourage people too to if you enjoy the show and you want to make sure it stays free, even if you're a starving college student, you can still donate, $25 a month.
Is there any, does it go, I mean, if somebody wanted to donate a penny, can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So there's just no cap.
You can put $5,000 a show or a penny.
Wow.
But you know what's interesting is we got an email the other day on our Facebook. I apologize. We're just so far behind on emails. I apologize to everyone who's written emails and we haven't been able to get to them. We're working on it. But
and I will explain why a little bit more later.
Yes.
Why I've been so busy.
Yeah, he wrote in and wanted to find out if we had a Bitcoin address. Did you see that?
No way.
Yeah. And so I wrote him back. I said, no, we don't have a way of accepting Bitcoins, but we'd love to do it. So please let us know if there's a way to sign up to be a receiver of Bitcoin. So
is Patreon working with that? Do you know? Like, are they going to be a what do you say?
Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that. But Patreon is just so cool, and I just really think that this is the way the world is going. As more people. As you contribute more to people, like we just contributed to the Jing Slingers, we bought their book, and when you contribute to people who are producing good content, if everyone did that, it would slowly ease out the need for corporations to be involved in anything in our lives.
Yeah. So
I really like the whole crowdfunding thing. It's cool.
It is really, and what a great time to be alive.
I know, right?
Do you think the Bitcoin thing is creepy?
Creepy Cole Medina?
Creepy Cole Medina.
I don't think so. Why?
Okay. Well, I don't know. You just hear about you think about this one world government, one world monetary system. Do you think that's what the Bitcoin is trying to be? Or do you think it's trying to be a screw the banks kind of like, I mean, are you still getting, how does that work? I'm not sure how Bitcoin works. And are you still like paying taxes on, I mean, how does all this shake down? Yeah,
I don't know how it works for taxes. That's an interesting question. I've done a lot of research on it, but the most recent research I've done on it is probably like a year ago. So I've forgotten a lot of it, but I don't know. It's basically the same thing as our monetary system, except with anything backing it, except for but that's the way our monetary system too.
We don't have gold backing it.
Yeah, there's no gold backing either. It's just people's faith and trust.
Isn't gold backing like a certain percentage, but it's very, very small? I've heard.
Yeah, it's so small.
It's like minuscule.
Yeah, I think the only gold backs like, what are those things that we get? Like we're gonna pay rent
like a
with
cashier's
check. Yeah, they gold backs those.
I think that's true, right? Because that's actually like a signed, like paid for document. It's got to be. I mean, checks are different though, I guess.
I think that Bitcoin's kind of like rebellion against the dollar.
That's kind of cool.
Because if you think about it, the dollar's a monetary, worldwide, global
That's true.
currency anyway.
That's true.
Already. So,
is there actually a physical Bitcoin?
No, it's all electronic.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
So you can't put a Bitcoin in your pocket.
No, but it's like I could if
can't have a piggy bank, a Bitcoin bank,
a bit bank,
a bit bank,
BitPig,
$1 million idea.
$1 million
for
baby.
Coins that don't exist. Make millions.
But it's pretty millions of Bitcoins.
I'll take any kind of money at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty good. If you look at the science behind it and the technology behind it, it's pretty fascinating stuff.
I need to look into that more. You're really good about like digging around, and you're into stuff that I wish I had time for, that I really value doing research on, like Bitcoins,
like flat Earth.
Flat Earth. Oh gosh, that's a whole other. Are we talking about that today?
That's a whole separate issue.
It is an issue. Bitcoins and Brandon Adams. You're always talking about creditors and commerce.
Oh yeah,
it's all this stuff that's really important, and I don't know. I hope I get freed up a little bit one day. I doubt that, but just spend some more time learning about that stuff. I think it's really important.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. It's really, really fascinating. I think it's imperative that everyone not just learns about their health, but learns more about the world they live in, about what's really going on. And I think it's just really, really important for people to understand. In the same way that we've been duped in terms of our health with, for so long, the diet craze, the counting your points and fats, proteins, and carbs, and not worrying about such and such food, even though it contains 7,000 chemicals, because it only has 2 points in it with Weight Watchers. In the same way that we've all been duped with diet, we've been duped in every other area of our life too. So finances, history, money, economics, science. We've been duped on every level.
Can we talk about your newest infatuation?
Ooh, what's that?
Flat Earth.
Yeah, well.
There goes my voice.
I know.
You and your obsession. Every time I walk by this office and you're working, I'll hear something. I'll just hear this like talking, whether you're listening to a podcast or a documentary or something. And sometimes you're in the sauna, but I just hear like stuff about Earth and grids and systems and things.
Grid lines.
Yeah, and I'll hear all kinds of stuff about Earth flat. What is going on with you? This is hilarious. How did you get into this? Didn't some listeners send you a link and say, check out this theory of the flat Earth?
Yeah, I think someone sent me a link. Someone sent me a link to...
They didn't know what they were doing.
No, if you send me a link and it's really fascinating stuff that I've never heard of before, that no one knows, and that has a lot of merit to it, that'll keep me busy for months.
Yep.
Like, I'll just be gone for 6 months. Like, I'm in a cave. I'm just done researching.
I just put food under the door and hope you're alive here.
I know, like, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie.
Oh, what was that movie?
Remember...
where he goes mad?
He was that inventor.
Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes.
That's right. That was a good movie.
Yeah, just slide food under the table, under the door. No, so I think a listener sent me to a link of Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues. And he's done a 12-part documentary series. Each part is about 10 minutes or so. So it's really easily digestible. But he goes through the whole Flat Earth thing. And when you first get into it, you're thinking, what a nut job this guy is, because there's no way the Earth is flat, And the more you watch it, the more open-minded you become. And to the point now where I don't know. It at least is making me question the globe model of the Earth. Because the same, like we're talking about just a few minutes ago, the same agencies that have duped us on everything else are the same agencies that are telling us that the Earth is a globe, and they're the same agencies that have a history of lying. So their trust factor is not the highest.
Yeah.
So even just that alone is something to consider. I wouldn't say that I believe the Earth is flat. I would say that what I think is that we live in a mystery. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's going on, and I like to live like that. It's more fun.
Oh, I had the best part of this book about living in mystery.
Oh, yeah?
You keep talking a little bit about mystery while I find it, but man, is it good. Do you remember this paragraph I read you in this book, Soulcraft, that I'm obsessed with? about living with the questions themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is good. Because I have to say, I'd been watching the flat earth stuff with you, and I didn't have any, when you first mentioned it, I thought, oh no, here it goes down the rabbit trail, sucking me in,
Conspiracy theory, here we go.
Conspiracy theory, here we go.
9/11 never happened.
Landing.
Moon landing never happened. Here we go.
But I have to say, I watched, they're really digestible. Like you said, they're in small little chunks, and I'm
Interesting, huh?
Okay, you're right. There is a little bit. You have to at least give merit to the fact that he makes some really good points, and
makes some good points.
Don't know. And this is when I came across this part. It's so funny how like things just really have been aligning for me more than ever. But it's like I'll hear something, I'll hear a concept, I'll have a conversation, and then I'll read the very next time I open up my book to the exact sentence I left off on. It's exactly like what I was going through, but. This is really good. This book is called Soulcraft by Bill Plotkin. It's one of the best books I've ever read. But he says, living the questions of the soul. Can I read this?
Yeah.
It's awesome. It says in 1903, I don't ever know how you say this guy's name, Rainier?
Oh, Rilke or something?
Maria Rilke, famously recommended in a letter to a young friend to live the questions of the soul. Rilke counseled his friend that no one could answer his deepest questions for him, and that he would have to wait before he could answer them for himself. Rilke also recommended that his friend spend time in nature, offering his careful and loving attention to, quote, the simple in nature, to the little things that hardly anyone sees and that can so unexpectedly become big and beyond measuring. Rilke's primary advice for those seeking their true way in the world was to go into yourself and test the deeps in which your life takes rise.
What was the last sentence? Go into yourself?
Rilke's primary advice for those seeking their true way in the world was to, quote, to go into yourself and test the deeps in which your life takes rise. The essence of this time of life, he wrote, is in the questions. And then this is a quote from his book, or his letter. I want to beg you, as much as I can, dear sir, to be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and to try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms and like books that are written in a very foreign tongue. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given to you, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer.
Wow. I love that last quote. You can't be given the answers because you wouldn't be able to live them.
You wouldn't be able to live them.
That would be
pretty
like
heavy.
If we knew the mysteries of the universe, it would almost be like we would have to die because we just couldn't live with that information.
You couldn't handle it. You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
What movie is that?
A Few Good Men.
Few Good Men.
Jack Nicholson.
That's a great movie.
But yeah, it's almost like we can't handle it, like the truth. And I love what he's talking about. Living in the mystery is the essence of life. Mm-hmm. And that's what sort of this flat earth stuff. And I don't know, it just, living in a world where it's all figured out, to me, it's just boring. Isn't it? It's just boring.
It is boring.
I don't like it. I like to just explore what's out there. I guess because I can't do it physically, like we can't go to Antarctica. It's militarized. We can't go. I mean, we could take a ship around the world and travel and explore, and I did that, but it's you can't really go explore and find new land. Mm. So the only way to do that is through intellectual and
it's
reading
in the mind.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool the way you put that, though. It's like your mind is a new land. That's an untouched land. That's an untapped potential right there.
Well, that's what that guy's saying in Soulcraft is go into the depths of yourself, which is what I find so much fun and fascinating in this journey, is learning about nutrition, learning about these things where people can heal themselves naturally, and learning about stuff that they don't tell you.
Right.
And that's part of going into the depths of yourself, learning about, all kinds of the craziest opinions and the craziest theories, and why not explore it and see if it has any merit or not? How fun is that?
I always thought it was crazy. I remember over the years you've always said like you're kind of like saying like Rilke does, like you love the questions and it's so fun to live in the questions. And I always thought you were nuts. I thought, no, the real life's in the answers. Why can't I just get all the answers? If I had all the answers, I would be more at peace. But as I've come into this journey of digging deeper into my soul and realizing there's so much, I don't want to know the answers.
I don't know.
No longer do I want to know. I remember one time on this show we talked about if you could have all the answers of the universe and you only had like a day afterward to live.
If you could get the answers to the universe, then the result would be you would only have like 30 days to live.
Or even a day. Or like 24 hours after that. Would you do it? Would you want to know? And I don't know. I don't remember how I answered it, but I was struggling. But I thought maybe I would because it would just blow your mind. But now I think I'd have to take back. That's the beauty of being a human. You just evolve and you can change, and there's no judgment of yourself when you change your mind on things. But yeah, I wouldn't want to know anymore.
You wouldn't want to know?
No.
Would you want to know like, for example, you're going through a lot of healing stuff right now and learning, basically recovering your health. And we've been sharing a lot of this on these shows. Would you want to know what's going on inside your body that's causing the exact reactions? That I would like to know.
I think I would too.
Because that's not something like, okay, the earth is flat and,
what do I do with
it? David Icke's theories are right and the earth is hollow or whatever. That's all fine and good, and I love that stuff, but I'd almost rather know exactly how my body works in order to get it to live for the longest amount of time in a completely healthy state as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's not like, you're not losing anything. You're not shattering any worldviews by knowing that.
It's funny you say that because I'd want to know, and I think that could be helpful. But for me, I'd have to really keep in perspective that no matter what I find out on a physical level, and no matter how I physically try to heal myself, there's always going to be that spiritual component. So if I'm not focused more on the spiritual, because I'm finding with my own health right now, this healing is a bit about physical, but it's a lot about my head and my headspace and my spirituality, and the spiritual root of disease, I believe, and chronic illness. So yeah, I'd want to know, but I'd hold it really loosely in a way, because I almost feel like the power that I've seen working in my life lately more than ever is that this is a spiritual healing first. So all the other stuff is just secondary. And I find that to be really fascinating. So yes, I'd want to know, but I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket. I wouldn't be like, okay, now that I know exactly what's happening, this is how you do it, because this is how you do it still don't work for some people. You might have all the answers to exactly what your inflammation is, exactly where it is, exactly what's caused it. And then you might want to remove those things, obviously, and start working on it. But I don't know. I start to think all the healing's between your ears.
I totally agree. And I think that's there. You're right. You're removing some important aspect of it, because if you were to...
It's very clinicalized when you do that.
It's very clinicalized, and if you were to get all the X, Y, Z's and the physical, eat this, don't eat that, and blah, 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 it's all about the journey. And I remember Phil Jackson used to say this, the coach of the Chicago Bulls and the Los Angeles Lakers, and he would talk about, the reward is the 5 a.m. Running the bleachers when no one's even awake yet. That's who you become in the process, is where champions are made. And before there's any, people screaming fans and hitting the game-winning shot, before all that, the champions are won and made, in the locker room lifting weights at 4:30 in the morning. And who you become in the process, I think, is where the whole thing is at. And so, like, if you could skip that whole process of not having to become someone different in order to achieve a goal or for you to heal, then it, like you said, you feel like something's been robbed, because I could say for you, you're a different person than you were a year ago. Totally different person. Like, and, comparing you to someone, to yourself 5 or 10 years ago, the girl that was 5 or 10 years younger, you wouldn't even be able to have a conversation with yourself now. You're two totally different planes.
Yeah.
And so when you take away the process of growth in overcoming something, like you said, it's like you're robbing me of the very thing that, it would be kind of cool to sort of have answers to how your body works.
Yes, it would be cool to know.
But you're robbing yourself of the growth and the process. And I think that's what we all crave, we all want to grow, and these things are what cause us to grow.
Yes. And then if you go about it in a clinical way, like we said earlier, like there's no guarantee that, because I've done the whole, I've been so strict at times and down to, 5 foods and eating and, feeling pretty good. And that stuff has helped. But I think what's happening lately with me is, I'll talk about it in a few minutes, but I got a little part-time job for a while, and I've been going to this job, and I've been taking my meals with me and things like that. But something happens when I get there where I know how I should be eating for healing right now, and that's fine and that's great, but I'll take something with me that wasn't working for me 6 months ago, like some almond crackers where I wasn't even able to eat an almond or even look at an almond 6 months ago.
I'd just throw them at you across the room.
Thanks.
Give me a turkey pot pie.
Woman.
Throwing almonds at you.
No, I know, right? But now it's like I can eat half of a thing of almond crackers and not even be affected by it. And I'm laughing because this place of work I go into, nobody really knows my journey there. So I think that all the gals that work there just think that I'm just like them. So everybody, when it's time for a snack, everybody goes and gets a snack, and I'll get mine, and then they'll ask what I'm eating. And it's so miraculous to me, and they would never understand all this journey because they haven't journeyed with me. But I'm thinking, this is a miracle right now that I'm able to put any sort of almond product in my system. And I'm actually I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm telling myself that it's tasty and I appreciate it, and it's getting me through this long day at work. And it's really helping me. So it's I don't know if it's a mind over matter thing. I feel like spiritually I'm healing. I'm doing a lot of forgiveness. I'm dealing with a lot of fear, a lot of anger. I'm putting those in their right places for the first time in a long time. And I feel like my body is just along for the ride. It's reacting to the work I'm doing on it on a mental level. I think that it's reacting physically. So, I'm still not going out and eating everything, but I'm able to eat a heck of a lot more than I was even 2 months ago, which I find really interesting.
Yeah, it's how you view what you eat, which I think is more important, and how you eat what you eat is more important than, Adam Bergstrom says it's not what you eat, but when you eat. Right. But I don't even think it's when you eat. I think it's how you eat on another level up. And it's like, you are, how they say you are what you eat. Well, now people are saying you are what you ate. So eating grass-fed, meat from animals, if you're eating animals.
I've never heard that. That's funny.
It's you are what you eat. But, it's not even what you eat ate either. It's you are what you absorb and assimilate. So it's so far, and we absorb and assimilate different based on how we're thinking and all that. So I think that you're right. Eating is a spiritual, and healing is a spiritual thing first. And the journey is. And I
knew that. Oh, sorry.
No, the journey is where it's at. If you finish the journey in your mind and do the practices where you can finish the journey, and you'll get physical healing much quicker, I think.
Yeah. I think so too. And I'm seeing it for the first time. It's like I've known this, and you read the Louise Hay books and you do all this other stuff, but until you actually go down that road yourself, I don't know. I'm finding it fascinating. But I am very careful too. I find myself to be, I told this girl at work the other day, yesterday actually, I was talking with her about something, and we were talking about some sort of mental healing, and I was talking about my journey with anxiety when I was a child and all this stuff. And I could tell she was kind of didn't know what to do with me. Like a lot of people don't know what box to put me in. Because I was pretty sure she was a Christian, but I wasn't sure.
They're trying to quickly label you.
Label me. Because I think most people at my work are. Right.
How do I put her in a box?
I know. And she wasn't even doing it really. I mean, she was doing it a little bit. I could tell her eyes were just didn't know what to do, because I mentioned a medical medium I had worked with, and then I mentioned going to church. So I think she was and so I said, I'm kind of funky. I'm to be honest, yeah, I have a lot of Christian beliefs, but I'm on a journey. I'm just a pilgrim. I'm figuring it out. I know God, and it's cool, You're
Jesus, I'm so thankful for what he did to me. And then last Thursday at my satanic study, it was just incredible.
At my KKK meeting?
my KKK rally.
Oh gosh, people would not know what to do with that.
I know, right?
You're funny. But what's happening with that? It's interesting because I found my friend sent me a book. Christy, one of my best friends, sent me a book called Be in Health. Be in Health. Why am I blanking on the name? A More Excellent Way.
Oh, A More Excellent Way.
By Dr. Henry Wright, I believe. And it's been referenced to me a few times in different healing sessions and stuff. And he's very Christian, and he's he's not a medical doctor, but he's, got his doctorate or whatever. But I value a lot of what that whole thick reference book is basically even deeper about the spiritual root of all disease than a Louise Hay or Ina Segal or anybody like that. But I'm finding that it's interesting. He talks about how everything he believes is rooted in fear and anger. And I do agree. And he gives like a lot of like biblical references of how we're supposed to deal with fear and anger and all this stuff. But then I'm finding it to be like, he's telling everyone that we're going to be a lot better off if we can rid all those horrible practices and obsessions out of our life that we do without even knowing it. Mm-hmm. But then the book itself kind of brings fear into my life.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, because I'm reading it going, oh my gosh, this is like that horrible feeling like I'm being judged by God and the wrath and the fire, and you feel all that, but then you also are like, well, he's basically saying, let's get rid of all that fear. So I'm in this really cool place of finding this fine narrow road of, wow, I feel very loved by God, and I feel like God is on my side, and I do feel like there's so much of this spiritual battle with disease and illness and things like that, but I also am not going to be afraid of the Creator, like why I'm here and what I'm learning and how to heal. I don't feel like I'm going to be smited by God. So I feel like I'm in this really cool place of just listening and being open to going down the weird rabbit trail and the journey and figuring out what's true. And, who knows what's really true? I don't think I'll ever know what's really true, but I just feel like I am listening more and I'm getting more answers along the way.
And entertaining different ideas is a hell of a lot of fun.
I know. It's like flat earth, and then you have this like soulcraft crossing into the mysteries and nature of psyche, and then you have the Bible, and then you have, this a more excellent way. It's just like, it never ends. And then you have the
teachings of Ra, the humble messenger of the law of one. The Law of One book, Raw.
We can thank Silly Bird for that one, our friend Silly Bird. But it's an exciting journey. Like, I'm not afraid anymore because I don't feel like, I'm just being honest. Like, everyone's on their own journey. And, I've never, like I've said on the show before, I've never had to question things my whole life. Everything's been spoon-fed to me. And this seems more authentic. It is more authentic and more real. And I just feel like a lot of comfort in it. And I know where I'm at with my relationship with God, and that's all that matters. But I feel like with that comes physical healing. It's very, very interesting.
And coming to a place of peace where you realize that, you're not going to be judged, or it's not just this crazy, like maybe, I believe God is there, but it's not necessarily the God we've been told exists. Maybe the God is totally different. But Paul says in the chat room...
Yeah, this is interesting. I just thought too.
To answer the earlier question, if you knew all there is to know and only had 30 days to live once you did know everything, I think that if you knew all there is to know, you will probably be ready to move on in less than 30 days, wouldn't you say?
I'd say about 30 seconds.
I would say, yeah.
I agree.
I don't know. For me, I think that it's a combination of learning lessons and understanding the mysteries of the universe and becoming the fullest expression of yourself and having an impact on the world. And once you're able to sort of go to the full extent on those three things, then there's no reason you've
been here, you overcame, you learned. What's the point?
Yeah, you've learned your lesson. You had an impact on the world and people's lives. Consciousness was raised. People were more aware and more awake. Because you existed, and your presence in the world made the world a different place. You've learned your lessons, and you've had an impact, and you've gone through the process of growth. So I think that, once that happens, many people die young. Like we're just talking the other day, privately, Jessica Ainscoe.
I was just going to bring her up too.
Talk about the journey of
the wellness warrior for people who don't know.
Yeah, I've never known anyone. I didn't even know her, but I've never known of anyone who's overcome so much and changed so much on a journey. Because if you read about the process that she went through to heal, I mean, you're talking about 16 juices a day made on the hour, every hour. This is for like 3 years.
Coffee enemas around the clock.
5 coffee enemas a day. Every other day she was taking a teaspoon of castor oil, which she couldn't even leave the toilet after that, she said. And it's like this physical and the spiritual journey that she had to go on was so intense that the transformation was so incredible that and just the mindset and everything else, and she had a huge impact on the world. She learned her lessons, and what more can someone do in 29 years, I mean, it's like, and so I think you're right, Paul, that once if you know everything, then what's the point?
Gosh, when you start viewing life like that, though, like we did have that conversation about her and Wayne Dyer, who unfortunately
just died. Yep.
passed away last week. He moved on.
He's on a new journey now.
It's on a new journey. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like in our culture, I mean, we have so many weird hang-ups with what we think death is and why we're here. And, taking this new job part-time for me has been very interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because it's shown me how easy it is for everyone on a spiritual or physical or whatever, both those, I guess there's not one without the other, but in a journey, how easy it is to get sidetracked by stuff. Like you start thinking this is important. Like I pull up to this corporate building every day now. But pretty soon only be 2 days a week for very part-time. I've been helping some friends out and running their front office thing. So it's been pretty full on. I've been like 80 hours in the last 3 weeks, which has been crazy. But you see everybody just getting out of their cars with their cup of coffee, all dressed up or in scrubs, because there's also a lot of medical professionals and pediatrics type stuff in the buildings and stuff. But I thought all these people, they're just distracted. They're pulled away from their real calling. Yeah. Everyone on the freeway, when I'm sitting in traffic to get there, it takes me a half hour. Like all these people are just distracted from their real life. Yeah. That's what I've come to. And I've been out of that for so long, because even 16 years of doing hair before this, I went about 2 blocks up the street. I'm on my own schedule. I didn't really have to commute. It's a really big deal. And I feel like people want so badly at the end of their life or when they get sick with a diagnosis or whatever to hold on to more of that.
Yeah, it's weird. Huh?
It's almost like, but I feel like it makes sense. They're trying to hold on to more of that because they know that there's more than that, and they want more time to figure out what that was that they missed.
Yeah.
I really think that's what it was. So when you have somebody like Jessica Ainscoe or Wayne Dyer, they lived their highest, like you said, like they lived into their most giant consciousness, or they left the biggest imprint they could have in a small amount of time. So, I mean, I'm sure they want to live to enjoy their family longer and enjoy this beautiful earth at times when it can be beautiful, when we find the beauty in it. Mm-hmm. But there's no need for them. So if we can let go of our view of death, of needing to stay around for people who need us, or to make people feel more secure by having us in their lives, it's not really about that, is it? Like,
yeah, it's really about, it seems like death is more just a conditioning tool for us to learn that we don't need other people in order to be happy or to be reliant upon for our emotional state or to learn from. You know what I mean? Because every person in our life eventually will die if we don't die before they do. Mm-hmm. And so every person that we love, like, Wayne Dyer or Jesse Ainscoe or anybody that passes away, death seems like it's a conditioning tool for us to realize how we need to just rely on God and ourselves. There's only two relationships that matter: our relationship with ourselves and our relationship to God, and everything else is just kind of having fun in the playpen until you die.
The sandbox, like our friend Michelle DeBerge says. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it seems like it's just a conditioning tool to get us to realize that, like, hey, we don't need the authority of other people. We don't need permission from other people. We don't need their ability to feel like they make us happy or approve of what we're doing. We don't need their ideas and opinions about stuff before we make decisions. The whole point, it seems like, of death is that,
it's getting you alone.
It's getting you alone. It's slowly pulling people away from your life. And as if God is saying, I've set it up this way so that you can finally realize that you need to listen to yourself and you need to connect with me and stop relying on other people for their opinion and all that stuff. And so it seems like it's this weird social conditioning thing.
I feel like it is.
Is
it just a Western thing, or is it social? It's probably social conditioning over just the globe, isn't it?
Well, it depends on whether or not
Why did I just say that? I know better.
See? We're all conditioned. The globe is everywhere. I'm telling you, people.
It is.
Check out Mark Sargent and see what you think.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but yeah, it's true. I mean, it seems like everyone around the planet is
the Earth sphere.
The Earth sphere.
The Earth plane
is relying on other people, and death is God's way of saying, no, listen to yourself. Listen to me.
I feel like that too. I really do. And I feel like you said, like when you say it's so strange that we don't think more about like crawling into our little sleep cocoon every night. It's like we are practicing for death in a way. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget that you said that in such a really interesting way when we were going to the flotation tanks one time. We were driving down the main boulevard and you said, wow, isn't sleep just like death? Like you crawl into this little place where it's quiet and dark usually, and you're by yourself, and it's like you're conditioning yourself for what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's funny how you said we're not afraid to go to sleep. We're not afraid to go to sleep. We practice dying every night.
We don't know where the hell we are.
We don't know where. We don't.
We have no idea.
We have no idea where we go.
People think they know. We've done studies and done all this, that, and the other, but no one studied the consciousness during sleep. And so yet we're completely okay with just giving over to whatever happens to us. We're
letting God control it then, but we don't want him to control it at the end when we pass over for good, you know?
We have these weird control issues. Like our autonomic nervous system is the very thing that allows us to breathe while we're sleeping. It digests our food. It gives birth to new life. It beats our heart when we're, not even thinking about it. And we're completely okay with giving over and relying on God and our autonomic nervous system to take care of us for those 8 hours and keep us alive. We're completely okay with that. But somehow dying is, different.
I know. Dying is so final. Like, why are we?
Yeah. Like, it's so weird. It's like this control issue we have. I don't know what it is.
Paul brought up something really interesting in the chat room. He said, very well said. So why don't all those books on near-death experiences say that all your family, or why do all those books on near-death experiences say that all your family meets you in the light? I think that's interesting because we've read some of those books and heard a lot of people talk about those near-death.
Uh-huh.
I have a theory on that, and I could be total. I don't know. I've never had a near-death experience, but I almost feel like what you said, Justin. It's like, yeah, it's you and God, and that's all. It's you and God on earth. It's you and God in the next life,
that's
and in heaven, wherever we go. But I feel like, yeah, what is that with all these people saying my father was there and they spoke with me and then I decided I wanted to come back into my body and all my relatives and ancestors? That might be true. They're all there. But I still feel like you're still tethered to the earth with some sort of a string of some sort.
Right.
So I almost think it might be God just giving us that because we are so human in our brain. There has to be something to help us understand the comfort of dying and letting go. And the people that are the things that are most comfortable in this life are probably our loved friends and family.
Right.
So if they weren't there, you'd be like spinning out in outer space going, I don't know what this is. I'm afraid. And it's almost like, I feel like God gives you a glimpse of whether they're there or not, it doesn't matter, but that you're comfortable and you're going to be well, assisted into the next, like you're going to go into that next phase.
A place of familiarity.
Yeah, I really think so. And I think that maybe because they, bounce back into their bodies really quick, there'd be no way for them to process what just happened if they didn't have those representations of what was comfortable waiting for them over there. So I don't know. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it helps make the transition to a place that's familiar. And, essentially all these people in our life, our friends and family, they're essentially like they're just secondary cast members in our play. Like we're the star of all of our play,
right?
And everyone else that's in your life is essentially they're just there in order to get you to do something.
They're supporting actors, really.
Yeah, supporting actors. They're supporting you in causing you to learn something and to grow in some way. And so when you look at that and you realize that, like, we feel comfortable with these people. And so, maybe it's God's way of allowing us to see other people so we stay in that level of comfort when we pass over to the other side. But essentially, it's all just, we're like what Joseph Campbell says, we're the hero of our own journey, or we should be. We should be living life like there's a camera crew around us. Someone's doing a documentary on us or something, or, we're the archetype, we're the physical, fullest expression of who we are, and we're the hero of our journey. We're the main character in our play, and all these people are secondary characters, and they're the ones. If we were on this earth without those people and no one around, what kind of a journey and what kind of growth and lessons would we ever go through? If there's just, there are times when we live here in this apartment where it's just we feel like we're living in the middle of New York City, and sometimes I feel like I just want to be the only person on earth. I just want silence, please. Could I just have a little bit of silence here?
I won't tell everyone on the air how you want to obliterate everyone around us, but you're working on that.
I'm working on it.
It's a spiritual journey.
But if there were no people, what kind of journey would there be for anybody? If everyone had their own earth, like, how Mormons think that when they die, they're going to have their own planet and stuff. Like if we were here on this planet by ourselves, I mean, what would we ever learn? What would be the point?
Well, interesting you bring that up, because I'm starting to believe that if that were true, to some extent, not to the extent that we are with humans but it's like reading the Soulcraft book. You're going to find it in nature. You're going to have all these mysteries. If it was just you and the earth, I mean, that's just so overwhelmingly bizarre to even think about. But I mean, I am reading in this book, Soulcraft, how these people go out on these soul discovery journeys, like, what do you call those? What is that word I'm looking for?
Like the ancient Indian?
Yeah, but there's you go out on not a soul mission. It's just a word that I mention all the time. Like, you go out to have this discovery time. Why am I blanking on this?
What's the word here?
You know what I'm looking for?
You go out kind of on a mission to discover yourself.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm just blanking. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah. That's funny.
Anyway, you go out on one of those. Yeah. I'm just totally blanking.
Drawing a blanker. That's okay.
But out in nature, these people totally, I don't know, they have these experiences where these
Farmer Mark says Vision Quest. That's what it is.
Thank you, Farmer Mark. Gosh.
We were drawing a blank.
Wow. I hate when that happens because you have no...
I didn't take my Brainiac tea this morning. My ginkgo biloba.
Your ginkgo biloba. Thank you, Mark. But he was talking about, he gives story after story about these people's experiences in nature, where they'll be sitting in this sacred circle and their, Vision Quest waiting for, something to happen, whether in their soul or in nature. And it's like this deer will walk into their circle and like touch noses with them and stare them in the eye, or this bear comes out of the middle of nowhere and like stands over them and breathes over them and like touches them and walks away. And, it's like, it's really hard to accept that really happened to those people, because when you read these stories, you're like, there's no way a hummingbird came out of the middle of nowhere into a craggy forest in the middle of the Arizona desert where there are no hummingbirds and dropped a leaf or a feather in the middle of this lady's journal while she was writing. Yeah. I mean,
it sounds so
hokey and so crazy. But last week, I had an eagle come up to our roof in the middle of our loud apartment, and I saw it and I go, oh my gosh, I've been seeing these eagles flying around me, and I'm starting to be like, okay, this isn't so crazy. And I open our front door and I look around, and there on the roof, this eagle is looking at me with his head bent in toward our house, like toward our front door. And we had this moment where we stared each other in the eye, and it was like, I knew that eagle was there to deliver a message. So yeah, I don't know if it's, if it was just you and the earth. I still feel like if there was nature, it would speak to you. If it was just not even animals, but there were trees, it probably would speak to you.
It would. And you could do an element. There could be an element of growth, but never as much as there could be with people. I mean, look at all the people in our lives. Like the very fact that we have family and friends that are causing us harm or talking bad about us or not agreeing with the life that we're living or disapproving of what we're thinking about. The very fact that we have those people in our life is a representation of us being reminded that we're on a journey of growth. Because if there were no people like that on the earth, if there were no people on the earth, then there is an element to which the human being, I think, has such a unique and only a human itself can only do and draw out certain parts of you. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think you're totally true about still having a spiritual connection with nature and God. But there are things that human beings can do to other people that only human beings can do that would cause some kind of growth that would never happen. Right. From nature. Right. But I do agree with you that there are, you can definitely connect with your soul and connect with God and have this incredible spiritual experience, which I think we should all do more often, because we're living in this weird matrix where we're living in the middle of cities and it's so unnatural. We don't get a chance to get out and explore. And we're dealing with just such challenging people on daily. I mean, I've had more challenges with hard people lately. Oh man, has it been exhausting. But you're right. I've grown 1,000,000,100%. I mean, it's like the biggest growth I have ever experienced by dealing with these hard situations. But you know what that does? It draws me back to more nature. I want to get out on the beach and barefoot more. I want to go up in the hills. I want to, because these challenges with people are so heavy and so heady and so like you want to sit with your journal and just people like work through it. And people causing stuff. It throws you back into desires for more nature. So I think they're really powerful hand in hand, like anything, yin yang. I mean, that's the thing. I think that we need to, in life, I think would be very advantageous for us to look at strategies and how we can utilize situations and circumstances to our benefit instead of just accepting them or not accepting them. But like, if you have a mom or a dad that doesn't agree with you, or doesn't, whatever the case is, a boss that always picks on you or something like that.
And who's not raising their hand over here?
I know, right? But, why not speed the process up a bit and figure out, okay, look back. And human beings are the only species that can look outside of themselves like this and say, okay, the very fact that this person's in my life is telling me that there is whatever they're causing inside of me is some sort of weak link that I need to overcome and grow from. So why not speed the process along? Figure out, okay, they're causing me to feel jealous. Okay, you like for me, you and me, we don't have the jealousy issue. Right.
You mean in our relationship?
Yeah. Like you're going to look at other guys. You'll notice other guys. I'll notice other girls. You were cutting guys' hair who are models, some of them. And I don't have a whole lot of hair, so I could be jealous. Right. But like if that were causing me a jealousy, then I could just say, okay, there's obviously some lesson here I need to learn. It's jealousy. And so how can I deal with that? And then overcoming the jealous nature just causes everything to speed up. Yeah.
Like you've learned that, you're done. What's the next lesson?
What's the next lesson? And grow. And
I do believe that.
And so why not use people like you would use a tool, like a hammer to build a house?
Yeah.
So if people are causing you problems, look in your life and see what the hell.
How can they springboard you to the next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're obviously there. The fact that that's happening to you is reason enough that that's what you need to learn. So why not take the reins upon yourself, figure out what they're trying to teach you, learn it yourself quicker. That way you don't have to deal with their problems anymore.
Do you think it's that though, comboed with that? I love that song by Jewel. She's really deep.
Yeah, she is.
But she was like, what, like 18 or 20 when she wrote that Pieces of You album?
Yeah,
really young. That. But that song, remember how it's like, basically she talks about all these things that we look at in other people and we hate them. And she's like, well, do you hate them because they're pieces of you?
Yeah.
So what's going on? Like, I love what you just said about all that. And I totally agree. But then what do you do with, like, say you're angry. I'm angry with this person I've been dealing with lately. I'm really dealing with anger because she's made my life really challenging. In some business aspects.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, this is real. We live in the same house. I talk all the time about it. No, but you know what situation it is. But I was thinking, she's been such a challenge, but is it because I see things in the way that she lives her life that I see in myself? Probably. But I'm also trying to then turn that. I mean, yeah, I see stuff that I'm like, yes, we have the same career. She does hair. She does all this stuff. Very living, in my opinion, just this crazy, irresponsible kind of life, with finances and choices and things like that. But I go, wow, yeah, I see that in myself. I've done the same thing. I've been totally capable of that. I'm still capable of that. But how do I also use that? I don't want to be those things anymore because those remind me of a former way of my life that I used to do things. I see so much of my old self in that. So that's what kind of gets the like lemon juice in the cut, so to speak. It bothers me. And I think that's why I'm extra bothered and why she's an extra challenge because I see so much of me in her.
Yeah. You still have old roots that aren't completely dead of the way you used to be. Is there anything the way she does now that really irks you? Because it may not be pieces of you and her. It could just be that, whatever it is that you need to learn, like whatever action needs to take place within you in order to be at peace with how she's dealing with you.
That's interesting.
So if act on that and maybe the situation will go away, Because I think it's what you said is true, and I think kind of what I thought was true. So does it switch over, or is it both those combined? Could be a little bit of each, I guess. There could be pieces of us and other people that, cause us so much harm, like they're a mirror of ourselves. And so that's what immediately turns us off to other people. But then it could be a type of thing where there's not necessarily a piece of us in them, but they're acting in such a way that, like I need to work on forgiveness, and maybe I don't forgive myself, and maybe her doing this to me is giving me an opportunity to learn how to forgive. And so once you start practicing forgiveness and doing everything you can to be the best example, the highest version of yourself to her, the fullest expression of what God can be in your life, and you express that to her, I can't imagine that you would have that same issue again. So maybe there's the type of thing where maybe it's forgiveness. Let's say in this example, maybe it's unforgiveness, and even though there's not necessarily a piece of you and her, it's just forgiveness. And so you're not forgiving yourself for certain things in your life, childhood stuff or whatever, and you're not being kind and gentle to yourself, and you're not forgiving of yourself. And maybe she's just there to cause you to learn to forgive her so that you can start practicing that on yourself. Maybe it's just a forgiveness thing.
Ooh, yeah. Deep thoughts on a Friday. My mind is officially blown. You're right, though. You're right.
I'm going to share our latest Facebook shares here. And
it's a little heavy.
I want to thank everyone for sharing our stuff on Facebook. Really appreciate it. Carla Rodriguez, Shirley Weiss, Joel Margetz, Madeline Corrigan Gangmella, Jeanette Squire, Jeff Osmondson, Massage for Myself. That sounds like a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Cindy Lee Cecilia, Robert Felso, Gail L. Kinney, Kim Theoff, BetterHealthGuy.com, Sylvia, I can't even pronounce this last name, or Zeminski.
Wow.
Queta Zuninga, Philip Moss, Roger Ferdinand, Mena Q, Vitamin K2 as MK7, Janet Squire, VitaminK2.org, Olisius, Casey Ho, and Coach Tana.
It's funny when you have vitamins sharing you. Vitamin K2 shared us.
Vitamin K2 shared us.
I love it.
But thank you, everyone who has shared our stuff on Facebook. We are so relying on you guys to help share, bring more awareness to our show and what we're doing. And so any time that you can share our post to your Facebook fans, we really appreciate it. And we'll read your name on the air too. So we really appreciate that.
Just one little click.
Just one little click.
That's all we ask.
And I want to let other people know too, or everybody else know, that the Holistic Oral Health Summit is happening. This is awesome. I'm really excited about this. Our dentist, Dr. Stuart Nunley, is going to be on this thing.
Nice.
Let me post a link
Dr. Nunley
in the chat room.
And Dr. Freeman?
Dr. Lane Freeman's going to be on there. And this is going to be happening from September 28th, 2015 to October, let me stop this really quick, to October 5th, 2015. And they have Mike Adams. They have so many people. The roots of heart disease, cavitation dangers with Dr. Nunley. This is going to be really cool.
I am stoked. So it starts September, what'd you say?
September 28th.
Okay.
Bill Henderson, the Cancer Dental Toxin Connection. Let's see here. Dr. Christopher Shade, who we've had on our show, talking about mercury poisoning, signs, testings, and a detox plan. Thomas Baldwin. This is going to be one of the best oral health summits available. Robert Scott Bell, Dr. David Kennedy talking about fluoride, Dr. John Axe talking about how leaky gut applies or affects our dental health. Dr. Bruce Fife, another former guest, talking about oil pulling. Nadine Artemis. This is going to be just a really awesome summit. They're giving away a bunch of free gifts, and it's over at extremehealthradio.com/oral health. So that goes from, let's see, September 28th to October 5th. And we got a listener question here. It says, Justin, just found you in the nick of time. I had a rash on my face and neck that wouldn't go away. Itching is out of my mind. I went to an urgent care clinic, which was the first mistake. They gave me 2 medications, eased the itch, but had nightmares and couldn't walk steady. Finally got an appointment with the dermatologist after 5 days. I was diagnosed with seborrheic dermatitis, given 2 prescriptions, both creams, and sent home. And after reading a little bit about it, I know I can do better. Any advice or dietary suggestions will be much appreciated. I am 70 years young, and she says, the golden years.
I love it.
And want to clean up my act. Thanks. And then she says her name. Yeah, that's so cool. 70 years. I would, as far as seborrheic dermatitis, there's some things topically you can apply. I've used apple cider vinegar to a lot of success, once or twice a day for a couple weeks.
With rashes and itching kind of thing?
With rashes and itching. I've had really great success with Yes supplements. So if you go to extremehealthradio.com/yes, they're parent essential oils. And I've had some really good success with those. And look at your gut health, your gut permeability, healing leaky gut, and liver health for skin issues.
Yeah, the liver is a big one.
Liver's a big one. So coffee enemas, milk thistle, some foods that are good for the liver are like beet.
Dandelion.
Beets and dandelion. So those are things that are going to be helpful for the liver.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so.
That's a good one. I have one.
Yeah.
From CBiz.
CBiz.
Hey, Justin, CBiz here. I just wanted to say that your YouTube videos are awesome and the water you made looks so good. This designer water thing is catching on here over there.
Water.
You're funny. Did you make up that term or we don't know?
I mean, I made it up in my head, but I'm sure it's people have used it. But yeah, I make my own little designer water every day.
How can people see that YouTube video?
Just go to our YouTube channel. I would suggest if you're listening to this and you want to keep up to date with everything we have going on, follow us on YouTube, subscribe on there because we're doing lots of stuff on YouTube that we're not doing on our website. It's a lot of content and videos, and we're going to be doing even more stuff going around and going to different places and talking to people doing this on YouTube. So go over there and subscribe. But it's under my rants, I think, or it's under how-to videos, the playlist.
Speaking of, I can't wait to have our new video out about our ear candling.
Oh my gosh.
Should we talk about that in a few, or do you want to talk about it right now?
Let's do it.
Ear candling. We have it now.
It's done.
I've been wanting to do ear candling. The only thing I have to say.
What do you got?
Well, the flotation tank is my favorite thing in the entire world. I love it. Mm-hmm. I wear earplugs like everyone else, but they're the soft, spongy ones, and I feel like water still gets into them. Mm-hmm. And I have a very strange right ear canal. I don't know if the canal's weird, but nothing seems to fit. Like I can't get an earplug in here to save my life. It just doesn't fit right. So laying in the water for the last year, doing the flotation, I think that I've just gotten water buildup somehow in my ear. And it's been like now a good almost 2 months of like whenever I yawn or cough or like eat, I'll hear this crackling in my ear. Like right now, I just feel like there's like water stuck in there. So I was like, okay, what do you do besides cruise out to a ear, nose, and throat guy and have him flush you out, So I thought that I would try this ear candling thing. And I remember doing it I remember being 18, working at a surf shop in town, and our boss, Vince, he was the best. He was really hilarious and adventurous. So I remember he went out and bought this ear candling thing back in the day, and he's like, I want to try this. So he made us, it was during like busy swimsuit season when we were like selling bikinis to tourists. And he was like, oh, it's okay. Let's take a break. And he laid down off to the side in the middle of the like showroom of like all our products and had us light this ear candle thing on fire. And we're thinking, oh my gosh, this is insane. He was probably all of like 28 years old at the time. He seemed like so old to us,
Have you looked into it then, you think?
No, I think he just saw it and bought it and was like, hey, you light this on fire and stick this thing in your ear. And I remember being so scared. I remember no one else wanted to light the tip of it on fire. And we're like, oh, great, this thing's going to like, how stupid though, looking back, It's like all these flammable materials all around us, just clothes and bikinis and God knows what sprayed and all that stuff. We could have gone up in flames, but so ever since then I wanted to try it, and I thought maybe this will get the water out of my ear. So we bought some Harmony's candles.
Harmony's Candles.
And we tried them yesterday.
Is that right? Harmony'sCandles.com?
I don't know. I just
bought
know
it from
it's
the
Harmony.
health food store. They're really cheap.
They're really cheap. They're like, they come out to be like $250 a candle.
Oh, no, it's HarmonyCone.com.
Oh, Harmony Cone.
Harmony Cone.
Good one.
I think she probably realized that Harmony's Candles might be misspelled, so she did Harmony Cone.
That's smart.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're basically like a long, for people who haven't seen an ear candle, it's not a candle, it's like a long, gauzy, wrapped kind of like a point on one end, and then it opens up like a funnel of paper, just like a long tube. And you basically lay down on the side that you want to ear candle yourself, and I do suggest, like it says on the directions, to have two people because you are working with flames. But we'll show you guys in the video of how we did it. But you can go onto YouTube and also search anybody's how to do an ear candling experience. But it creates a vacuum. So you have the pointed end in your ear, and then you have the top lit on fire, and we had a piece of foil and a paper plate kind of as a barrier in between. And this thing sucks up so much earwax out of your ear. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it's insane.
So I did 2 candles for my bad ear. You did 2 candles on your same ear, actually.
We're going to be we've got the video clip, so we're going to be putting together a video on our experience doing it.
Of how it all turned out. But yeah, man, I can't believe what came out of my ear. And, it's unfortunate. I still feel like I have a little crackly, crunchy water stuck in there. So I don't know if I'm going to have to go to the next level of getting that out, but I just feel really relaxed and amazing after that thing.
Yeah, ear candling it's been around for a long, long, long time, and it's worth looking into. And I would highly look into it if you have some issues. I had some issues in my ear with surfer's ear, so I'm not sure if people are familiar with this, but when you go in the ocean and you surf a long time or in the water a lot, you cause there to be some calcification that happens in your inner eardrum, and the bone or the cartilage sort of grows over and it seals off a section of your ear deep within the canal. And then when that happens, no oxygen can get in there, and so you can start having some real issues. And people get surgery to get their surfer's ear fixed. So
I did not know. Is that traumatic?
Yeah, it can be. It can be if it continues to sort of go. So that's why I've had some issues as well. But this has been really cool, this whole ear candling thing.
I had something called tropical ear in Australia. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. Just as tropical ear is a commonly used term for, otitis externa. Otitis. Otitis, which is an inflammatory condition of the external auditory canal. It is the most commonly seen use of otalgia. That's what I had. I had that. Yeah. And it was unfortunate when we were on an airplane going from Sydney to Cairns. And the pressure, I feel like that pilot just zoomed right down from the sky and caused so much pressure in that cabin. I felt something rupture in my ear.
Yeah.
And then when we landed, I just had so much pain. I couldn't hear out of it. You were talking, our friend Brian was with us. I couldn't hear a thing. It's like being muted in one ear for like 2 days.
Yeah.
It was so painful. I finally went to the emergency room up in Cairns in the Barrier Reef, and they said I had this tropical ear thing and I had a rupture in my ear. So that was fun, but my ear's never been the same since. So ear candling, it really felt warm and lovely and brought all this like the back of the Harmony candles say, it brings just kind of peace and well-being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really relaxing.
It's really relaxing.
Hey, we got an email here from Victoria, and she's responding to something you were talking about, which is pretty cool. She says, "Hey, Justin, Kate, I was listening to your wonderful show this morning before work, episode 171. So this is a long time ago.
Oh my gosh. You just found this?
This came in, I'm not sure when this came in.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant this was an email from that long ago and we just came across it.
No. And wanted to share this with you. In relation to Kate's coffee enemas, I too did a colon cleanse in 2010 using colonics, oxy powder. Oxy powder is something that you can get from Global Healing Center, so we'll write that down and put them in the show notes.
It's not OxyClean.
No,
that would do something completely different.
That's a completely different product that you can buy late at night.
That guy died, didn't he?
He did.
That's horrible.
Oxy powder,
or is it?
I know, right?
He moved on.
And a medicine made by a UK herbalist called Wormless. I experienced a major health crisis at the time. Both my son and I had a serious, unshiftable case of worms. Anyway, I too expelled those jelly, flesh-like blobs with tentacles. She's talking about your...
I know.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, though...
yeah, you're right.
There are other people listening.
There are. This isn't all about me?
This is just therapy for you.
Oh, okay.
You wrote a blog post. We'll put a link to your blog post with pictures of what this lady's talking about that came out of Kate. But I too expelled jelly flesh-like blobs with tentacles. I took them in a jar to my standard GP who had never seen them before and didn't know what they were. So on some further investigation, my nutritionist took a look and reckoned they were roots and rhizomes from candida. Candida, when it becomes systemic, will grow hyphae and burrow tentacles into your stomach.
What in the world?
And this causes leaky gut and means food and toxic particles are allowed into the bloodstream. Candida goes hand in hand with worms and other bacteria and toxic life forms. I thought I would share this with you, as this may be what the particles you are seeing are. The tentacles seem to suggest that it is the same thing. I expelled lots of frothy, fleshy-colored foam in my colonics as well, but no large worms ever. I was surprised. Anyway, I thought I'd share this with you. Good luck. You really inspired me today to get back on my colonics and enemas once again. God bless you both, and please keep up the amazing work. Don't let those dark forces get in your way.
Ooh.
I will add you both to my prayers.
Oh, thank
cool
you,
is that,
Victoria. Right? That is awesome.
Belladonna.
How
crazy is that? So these things...
dark forces. Ooh. Those things are dark forces.
I know, right?
Tentacles.
They grow roots and rhizomes, and they become systemic and will grow hyphae and burrow tentacles into your stomach. What? What?
Wait, what?
Wait, what? How is that?
That is just horrible.
Causes leaky gut. So I don't know. This is this girl's theory. We need to take everything, as an offer, as a theory, as an idea, a suggestion. I don't know that this is happening, but man, if this is what's going on,
that's a little intense.
A little intense, right?
Wow. She sounds like she had more of an experience than I did.
I know, tentacles.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's just bizarre, gross. God bless you. Keep up your amazing work. Don't let the dark forces get in your way. I'll add you to my prayers.
I'm glad that you're really glad, though, that people like that write in because you don't feel alone. Like, I haven't done a coffee enema in a long time because I've kind of let my system kind of do other things for a while. Mm-hmm. But I love them, and it's amazing. But, yeah, when you see freaky stuff come out of your body, it's just so good to know that there's people who have seen even weirder stuff or stuff similar. But I'll tell you, yeah, it's not for the weak of stomach. If you're going to Google image something, ooh, watch out.
You'll be on a
You're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff.
You'll be in the wrong way.
I don't know if it's wrong. It's just, wow, this stuff, like, our bodies are so fascinating that they're able to expel these things, but that they're able to host these things. Like, it would make sense if you're, one of those people you see those crazy stories of, like, something turning into a 30-pound tumor hanging off the side of their body. You know what's happening. Sure. You know that someone has that issue going on.
Right.
But it's the unseen things in these dark places of, like, what lurks in our bodies. Like,
bizarre, right?
Yeah.
Our listeners are so awesome.
Our listeners
that's so
rock.
Cool, so knowledgeable.
Thank you, Victoria.
And our listeners not only are just awesome in terms of knowing so much about health and being on their own journeys, but our listeners are so great too in terms of putting to practice all kinds of stuff. These people are doing stuff.
And they're teaching us stuff.
Teaching us stuff, yeah. Well,
I know nothing compared to half the people I talk to, or,
Yeah.
Hey, check out this really cool iTunes review. This is so cool.
Oh, nice.
Inspiring, increases openness and gratitude. August 7th, 2015. We got the best review. Should I read their name?
Yeah.
From AJ Seits, AJSEITS. I'm not sure who they are, but from the U.S. This is so nice. Talk about people who are in our circle who are just lovely. Kate and Justin, the hosts, are very authentic. In this day and age, it is so pleasurable to listen to such authenticity. Moreover, their approach to everything is seemingly so open and grateful. That's nice. I listen to their podcast to decrease loneliness and increase hope while I am on bike rides and doing chores. Not only is their podcast down to earth and inspiring, but so is their relationship. As a young adult, it is inspiring to hear such a respectful relationship that they have. I am excited to keep listening to this podcast and hopefully hear more of their insight on healthy relationships as they seem to model one so well. Thanks for all your inspiration and authenticity. Keep shining.
Dang. That's cool.
He doesn't know that I, throw things at you after the show. I'm just kidding.
You throw things at me.
You talk about throwing almonds at me.
Stop throwing plates at me.
No, seriously, how nice is
cool.
that? That's so, wow. Thank you, AJ. That is really, really honoring. And we accept all iTunes reviews, good and bad, but that's so nice when people actually appreciate what you're doing. And I have to say, I really like being with you.
Oh, thank you.
I'll say that on air. We have a lot of fun together.
We do. And you know what? It's funny, too, because when you speak with us, or if you were to put a camera on us when we're not on the air, this is how we talk all the time.
Yeah.
This is just how we communicate.
I know.
It's fun to be on this journey with someone who's also on it. Because, when we first started, I wasn't sure if you were ever going to come on this strange, weird journey with me. I never forced you. Never really.
Oh, no.
But it was awesome for me, for you to join me. And, it's a lot of fun.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah.
You're a pillar. You're an example of, I don't know, you are a really great example of what I think a healthy man is. I I don't know. You make being in a relationship easy because of all the work you've done on yourself. So I can say to AJ, like, the more work we all do on ourselves, the better relationships we're just naturally going to gravitate toward and have. But yeah, doing life is fun with you. I never thought it'd be so crazy.
Or so challenging. It's been a hell of a ride.
But I do have to say, I had a friend one time that we'd been friends since 5th grade, and we kind of, all through high school, and then we kind of had life happen, and we still see each other, but not as often. But I remember when she came over once and, kind of said hey to you, and then we left to walk downtown to get a glass of wine or something, and she goes, "Are you guys really that nice to each other? Like, are you, what? You're so nice." And she'd been married for longer than we had.
Funny.
And I go, well, I guess this is just how we are. But I realized, like, man, it is really sad. A lot of people aren't really, not very kind at all to each other, but don't have a lot in common. So, I mean, I just feel really blessed. There's nothing that we did to deserve this. We just happen to be blessed by God in this. And so I think it's just now, I mean, obviously for a life companion to go through life and making life and the challenges a lot easier and, have be able to carry each other's burdens and stuff. But I think it's for this time in life for us. I feel like we finally aligned with our purpose. And that's what makes this journey so cool. Like having this relationship and be able to share our interests with the world and hopefully with others that could find some hope. Because, if you're not in a good relationship, I mean, there's so much more out there.
Yeah, it'd be so challenging, man. But I mean, I guess that's what's necessary. I mean, I guess in this lifetime, this is not the path that we needed as far as growth.
Right.
Because I don't know if I can continue doing what I'm doing. If you and I had this horrible relationship where we're yelling at each other and all this stuff, like, we saw just recently, someone was going crazy on each other.
Yesterday when I was at my part-time job, saw a guy pick up a bike
and throw it at this girl.
Throw it at a girl.
Yeah.
What? Right across our street.
Yeah. I filmed it. I should put it on YouTube.
I know. I don't think you should, but I know I almost want you to, but
it's the level of disrespect that people have for one another. I just feel lucky and blessed that we found each other and we're able to do this, what we do together. And I think a lot of it has to do with being on the journey together, being open-minded, being caring and respectful, putting each other's needs first, and not being attached to ego whenever we get in fights, so that we don't hold on to things as just grudges. We kind of let them go, and so that's an example of, of the work that we've both done, together.
Yeah, I feel like our challenge in this life isn't our relationship; it's our neighborhood. With all the ghetto relationships around us.
That's a neighborhood.
People throwing things and yelling. No,
one final thing to shut out the show, because I know we got to go.
Yeah.
How are you listeners in the chat room and you listening? I'm curious. This will be, if you're listening to the podcast version of this later on, this will be at extremehealthradio.com/395. And my question to you is, how are you going to, assuming you're listening to this relatively soon after we do this recording, in what ways are you going to utilize the changing of the seasons for those of us that live in the Northern Hemisphere? So like we're talking about earlier, utilizing people like tools in your life, right? So people that are challenging, people that cause you drama and problems, how could we use these people as like a hammer to build a house? The house is us. The house is are the foundation of everything that we are, our spirit and our soul. And the body is how we express that. So when we have these people in our life that cause us problems, we can use them as a tool to putting up the foundation of our house. So in the same way, we can use everything as tools, right, for our growth. So the fall season is coming up for us, which is your favorite time of the year.
Yay! Jazz hands over here.
Not my favorite time, but I'm going along with it. But
you're embracing it this year.
The reason why it's not my favorite time is because there's obviously something about it that I don't like that I need to grow and overcome through. Mm-hmm. So we were talking the other day about some things that we are going to be doing come the fall season, and one of those things is doing a cleanse. Like every Sunday, we're going to do a fast. So we're going to do a fast that includes basically just water and
just liquids.
Just liquids. So any powders, no smoothies, because they're essentially just a blended food, but just green juices, kombucha,
broths,
water, bone broth, any kind of liquid that you
mushroom teas,
kombucha, tea, coffee, anything that is liquid that allows your body to rest. So we're going to do that. every Sunday, so we'll be starting that pretty soon, as well as I want to get back into doing coffee enemas every Sunday as well. I was doing them. You had me on this kick.
I did?
Yeah, back when you were doing them, and I want to get back to doing them every Sunday, once a Sunday.
Nice.
But to kick off the fall season, which is your birthday.
It is my birthday. I'm always either the last day of summer or the first day of fall. This darn it. I'm the last day of summer.
So
boo.
For last Christmas, you got me an apron, which I shared on one of our recent YouTube videos as part of my meditation
Not just
practice.
any apron.
It's an apron.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You got me an apron for Christmas.
I did. True man.
Let's not get around that. So this fall, your birthday.
Yeah? What are you going to get me? An enema bag?
I'm going to get you...
Because we're 90.
A colonic.
Oh, brother. Are you really?
No, but we're talking about that, remember? As part of our... We're going to go up and get a adjustment from Dr. Bergman, our chiropractor. We're going to do a float session at Newport Float Therapy. And we're going to get a colonic all on someday around your birthday.
And oddly, that sounds like the best birthday ever. How far we've come.
Oh, gosh.
I love it.
How far we've come.
It does sound like a great way to... No, it's wonderful. It does sound like a great way to start a new season, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've got some other ideas that we'll put on Instagram, too. We'll take pictures of other things.
Hopefully some of them involve flowers, but...
Well, yeah, I'm curious what you guys are going to do, how you're going to utilize the changing of the season to benefit your health and growth. So I'm wondering, is there anybody in the chat room that's thought about that, that's thinking about... Paul says, send him a meditation beanbag.
The guy that threw the bike.
Oh gosh, that's right.
I'm like, well, beanbag could still hurt your head if you threw it hard enough, but it depends on how you're going to use the beanbag.
I know, right?
If you used it to meditate, what it's intended for.
So that sounds a pretty cool thing to do, right? To start the fall season. Anything else that you can think of that we want to do to sort of bring in,
usher in newness?
Oh, you know what? We'll talk about this on another show, but
there's a lot I do.
Our 10-year anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
And we're talking the other day about a walk and how much of a challenge our first 10 years of marriage has been. And we'll talk about this on the next show. How about that?
You know what? Let's do that. That'd be great. We may have to save that one though for our actual anniversary show.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we were talking yesterday on a big long walk about the challenges we have seen and continue to go through and overcome, and it's been 10 years. So,
hey, what do you think about doing a separate show or a separate recording or maybe a YouTube video or something? Because it seems like every Friday we have a ton of listener questions and we just don't get to all of them.
I know.
Do you think we should do some other recording of like a rapid fire kind of thing?
Yeah, I do. I think we should do like short little 10-minute shows or videos on answering these questions.
Do you think so?
Yeah. That's our fall. There we go. New fall schedule.
Yeah, we'll put those as
we'll add that in.
We'll add a playlist on our YouTube channel for Q&A.
I love it.
Yeah, because there's just so many questions that we just didn't get to today, and it sort of happens every time.
Let's do it.
Want to do that? Mm-hmm. You want to film or do you want to be in it or just film it, or what do you think?
I don't know.
Depends?
It depends.
Maybe we'll just, depending on the day.
Depending on how my hair looks, to be honest.
Is that right?
Totally.
Yeah, for guys, we just put a hat on.
Girls have to think about these things.
I know, right?
Speaking of, I got to go do mine now. I'm off to work a front office for a few hours.
That's right.
On a Friday.
That's right.
It's fun.
All right, everyone. I just want to say thank you guys for your support, your continued support, for praying for us, for sending us good messages and inspiring emails, and we appreciate that.
Inspiring emails?
Inspiring emails.
Oh, inspiring.
And we thank you for your support if you are doing it financially via Patreon. If you go to extremehealthradio.com/support, you can do that. We really appreciate that. A lot of people are bookmarking our Amazon link lately. Thank God. That is so awesome.
It's huge, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's cool. Nothing changes for you. It's just we get commission for your orders.
And you still get stuff.
Like someone recently bought something called Atomic, a talking wristwatch with alarm. It speaks the time, date, day and year.
Nice.
They bought a Fitbit.
Fitbit? On a Bitcoin.
Someone went there and bought Bitcoin. Someone went there and bought American Hot Rod Season 1 DVD set.
Awesome.
Like American Hot Rod.
Woohoo!
And
I love it.
A book by Dr. Bergman, How to Correct High Blood Pressure Without Medications.
That's awesome.
So yeah, people, nothing changes for you. Everything on Amazon. If you bookmark extremehealthradio.com/Amazon in your browser, and then every time you go to Amazon, if you use your browser link, we'll get credit for your order. And that's huge because you don't have to buy anything health related. And you can buy American Hot Rod Season 2.
Whoever's listening that loves hot rods.
I mean, that's awesome. You know,
that's awesome.
Someone listens to our show that's also interested in hot rods, and you buy a DVD set, and it gives us credit. It's just awesome.
That is so cool. Everyone wins. Yeah. I have to say too, our reach is only so big. I know it could be bigger if everybody. You know what I'm going to ask? If everybody would. I know this sounds crazy, but if you're mentioning Amazon or you're talking about ordering something to your friends and family, could you ask them if they don't go through anyone's link that they support to possibly go through ours? Because we've asked our friends, our family, and it really, really helps. But you guys are like the tentacles. You're the ones who, if everybody just asked one other person, hey, you know, our friends on the radio, they have this thing they could really benefit, and we could keep them going, you know, by supporting them more. Would you be interested in just, hey, here's the bookmark? Like, send it to your friends and family, or just mention it, because that is where the ripple effect starts, you know, going, and we'd be able to finally get in the studio we've been talking about that we're not able to afford at this point, to be able to do more videos. I mean, it just takes you mentioning it to one person. So if everybody could just mention it to some other person and explain that it doesn't take away from what they're getting and that it only just helps keeping a good thing going.
And nothing changes.
Nothing changes. We would just be so grateful. So grateful. So that's my challenge for everyone. The fall challenge.
Nice.
Plus with the holidays coming up, imagine if even friends and family just did it one time with their holiday shopping. That makes the world of difference to Extreme Health Radio. So
totally.
Thank you guys. We're relying on you guys, and we hate to ask things of you, but that would just be kick-ass.
That would be kick-ass. And, you know, thank you guys for all of you that are bookmarking our links. It means so much to us that we're able to sort of rely on some of that Amazon money. And what we want to do is we're going to get a studio at some point when we can afford it here in town, a really awesome studio. We're going to set up cameras, and we're going to do live video on Ustream or some other live service where people can watch the interviews live. We'll bring in guests, and we'll do have 3 cameras, and so we'll have a switcher and everything. It's going to be awesome. So eventually we'll be able to get to that point. So your support really means a lot to us. There's so many people in Southern California that are you know, great people doing like
our friend Joseph,
natural healing, all kinds of stuff. Just guests that we can bring in.
I thought you meant even making things and creating
like Dr.
things.
Keneally, you know, all kinds of, you know, we live in the hotbed of great people that are doing some awesome work. Imagine having Dr. Steenblock on a live show, video-based podcast, you know?
Totally.
So that's what the direction that we're going. So your support by, like Kate said, Amazon is huge. So thank you.
Wish we could have God in studio. Oh, he's already here.
God? That'd be awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for supporting us. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. Share the show with your friends if you can. Any of our Facebook updates, please share. That really, really helps us a lot. If you do, we will read your name on the air.
Love you
and
forever.
If you support us on Patreon, we'll read you guys your name on air, and we'll send you some bonuses if you donate a certain amount. So we appreciate that a lot. In any event, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. This is our mission. This is our goal. And regardless of anything that happens, this is our mission. So
come hell or high water, we're committed.
Come on the journey with us. We'd appreciate it. Thank you everyone for joining us on the live show every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time at extremehealthradio.com/live.
Did you see what I just did? I tried to kiss the microphone instead of my dog on my lap.
Oh,
I got confused. Maggie, I almost kissed the microphone.
All right, everyone. Thank
Bye,
you
guys.
for joining us. We'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Hey everybody, this is Josie, Justin's mum. Don't tell him, but I know he would absolutely be really happy if you would sign up to his free weekly newsletter. And don't forget to share this with all your friends. This is the buzzing bumblebee signing off.
That was so good.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
It's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show.
Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health.
Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition.